Hi, in this video, I want to share with you about one of the most important elements of any data projects, the people. 70 to 80% of data projects will fail. That's the statistic that is out there that we need to take into account. And I learned the origin of that in a very lively manner, meeting customers at conferences when I was a software vendor. I could run into a first customer for a given industry, a given size, with a given business problem to solve. And that customer would tell me how happy they are with that piece of software, with that application they purchased and they implemented. We would have great time discussing the success. But a minute after, I would run into a similar customer that would threaten to sue us for selling a bad application. And yet, the customer was the same industry, the same size, and trying to address the same type of problems. The only difference between the two environments were actually the people. So let's focus a little bit more on that component of data projects and see what really gets in the way. The problem is, when you start your data projects, there are a lot of behaviors that are going to be triggered. And that team that is around you, that like you so much, their opinion, their behavior will change. Let me walk you through a few examples of typical characters that will get in the way. For instance, Fred, afraid, using fake names. Well, these are typically the people that have fear for the change, that have fear because they don't quite understand what is going on and where this digital revolution or this data project is going to take them to. And this fear is understandable. We all have fear when we face change. But we need to take that into account and hold them through a grieving curve that will bring them on board. One of my favorite is what I would call Claire Excel. Claire Excel is typically the analyst that has thrived for years building Excel spreadsheets to address data problems. And the best part of it is she even gets comped and bonused for building such great spreadsheets. And here's the deal. You're coming up with your data project that's going to implement sustainable and streamlined processes with new technologies, and all she sees is that her spreadsheets are going to become obsolete. And she will fight to her nails to go against that, trying to find every little change in her spreadsheet that your new system can't match to make sure that her processes survive. And one last one, my favorite, is corner vendor. Corner vendor is typically influenced by all the vendor offerings that are out there. And it's actually his choices are really driven by the marketing pitches of the firms around him. And it's so easy to be attracted, by a vendor at a conference, by going out with this vendor to a restaurant or to a nice venue. And what happens then is that we lose track of the company's interest. We lose track of the problem we're trying to solve. All we're trying to do is to accommodate a vendor we like. So these three behaviors are going to get in the way of progress when it comes to data projects. And it's going to be up to us to manage them one by one. Is there any recipe? Well, I think it goes back to the art of managing. But there's actually one element that is common to all of them. When these people raise up against you during meetings around your data projects, never forget that it's not against you as a person. It's not against you as a human being. It's against the project that represents a direct threat to what they're currently doing and to their future. That perception has to be managed, has to be changed, and that's how you bring these people on board.